תכוננו ולמדנו אבינו הרחמן המנחם רחם עלינו ותן בליבנו להבין ולהשכיל לשמוע ללמוד ולמד לשמור ולעשות ולקיים מכל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה.
Friends, unless you have the prayer book within your iPhone or your phone, can I ask that we put all phones away?
Finally.
Ross and Shira, if you might join your daughter on the bima and bring to Ilana the talit that Ilana wears today as a bat mitzvah, in wrapping Ilana in the teachings, the wisdom, the mitzvot, the commandments of our people, as Ilana now joins a long list of the generations and generations of the Jewish people who take the responsibility of living a loving and committed Jewish life. Ilana, if you can recite the bracha, the blessing for wearing the talit.
Yes. Bracha ta'Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvot v'tzivanu lahite tef bat tzitzit.
Amen. Amen.
והארננו בתורתך ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך ויחל לבבנו לאהבה וליראה את שמך ולא
נבוש לעולם ועד All of us wearing the talit will gather now the four tzitzit, the four main fringes of our talit, as we hold them together close to our hearts. And we continue praying for the ongoing ingathering of our people. May our Ba'chanfot ha'aretz from the four corners of the earth to the land, the state of Israel, 240, which will then be followed by Ilana's Shema V'Ahavta. First, 240 V'Havienu.
והביאנו לשלום מארבע כנפות הארץ ותוליכנו קוממיות לארצנו כי
כל עם ולשון
ذكر אותנו לשמך הגדול סלע מלך להודות לך ולייחד לך באהבה ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר מעמו ישראל באהבה.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך
ושינתם לבניך ודיברת בם בקרבך
צדקך בביתך
ופלגתך בדרך,
ושוכבך וקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות
ביתך ובישראל.
We continue on page 246, 247, Vayomer.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ויעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם ונתנו על ציצית הכנף אצל תכלת והיה לכם לציצית וראיתם אותו וזכרתם מכל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם
Let's find ourselves now on page 251. If you'll join with me responsively, beginning in the middle of the page. From Egypt you redeemed us, Adonai our God. From the house of bondage you delivered us. Tyranny was defeated, enslavement was ended. The dawn of freedom had come at last.
Therefore they praised and extolled you. They offered you prayers of fervent thanksgiving.
They acclaimed you as the ever-living God, great and revered, exalted in majesty.
You humble the haughty and raise up the lowly. You free the captives and redeem the weak.
You help those in need and answer your people when they cry out to you. Top of page 252.
Tehillah le'el elyon baruch u'barach Moshe u'bnei Yisrael echadu shira Besimcha rabba v'yamru chulam V'i chamocha ba'elim Adonai V'i kamocha nedar ba'kodesh שבחוג העולים להשימך שפת הים יחד כל אבות ובאים לכו ויאמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד צור ישראל קומה בעזרת ישראל הבטח נאמך יהודה בישראל גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
255, we begin the morning Shacharit Amidah for Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Mekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot, Umevi Geula Libnei B'neihem, Lema'an Shemo v'Yahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch hu Baruch Shemo.
Magen Avraham v'Yezrat Sarah, Atah Yivor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei metim atarav le'Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hakashem, Mechakeh l'chaim b'chesed, Mechayei metim berachamim rabim, Somech nochelim v'rofei cholim, u'matir asurim, u'mekayem emunato v'shenei achor, michamocha ba'al geburot, u'midom elo, melech memit u'mechayem, u'matzniach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata le'achayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch hu Baruch Shemo.
mechayei hametim.
Amen. Kedusha 256.
Nekadesh et shivcha ba'olam, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מהרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אז בקול רעש גדול, אדיר וחזק, אדיר וחזק, משמיעים קול מן השרים לעומתם, 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 ברוך יומנו, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, ממקומך מלכנו, מלכנו תופיע, ותמלוך עלינו, כי מחכים אנחנו לך. מתי תמלוך, תמלוך את ציון, בקרוב בימינו, בקרוב בימינו לעולם, ועת תשכון. בקרוב בימינו, בקרוב בימינו לעולם, ועת תשכון. תתגדל ותתקדש בתוך ירושלים עירך, לדור ודור ונצח נצחים. בינינו תיראנה מלכותך, כדבר עמוד בשירי עוזך, על ידי דוד משיח צדקך. ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור.
לדור naqdish, kedushatecha naqdish. Teshivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush, le'olam le'olam va.
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור נגיד גד לך, לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור נגיד גד לך, כי המלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה, כי המלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Take a few moments now for individual and quiet prayer. We can continue in the morning Amidah 258, 259 through 266, 267. Mekadesh Eshri. We'll close our Amidah with a prayer for shalom, for peace. We can find ourselves on 266, 267, right in the middle of the page. And Ilana brings to us a new melody that comes from Camp Ramah Day Camp. So at points we'll be responding to Ilana, so get all set for a new prayer for peace. Oseh
Unless
shalom.
you go to Ramah Day Camp, but you already know it. Okay, everybody who doesn't know how to say it, everybody repeats the Hebrew after me. Okay? Oseh shalom.
Oseh shalom.
Be seated.
Be'im Roma.
Ve'im Roma.
Uya'aseh shalom.
Oseh shalom.
Aleinu.
Aleinu.
Ve'yakol Yisrael.
Ve'yakol Yisrael.
Ve'imeru.
Ve'imeru.
Oh.
Ve'imeru.
Ve'imeru.
Amen.
Amen.
May the one who brings peace bring peace to us, to Israel and all the world. May the one who brings peace bring peace to us, to Israel and all the world. Oseh shalom.
Oseh shalom.
Ve'im Roma.
Ve'im Roma.
Uya'aseh shalom.
Uya'aseh shalom.
Aleinu.
Aleinu.
Ve'yakol Yisrael.
Ve'yakol Yisrael. Kaddish Aleim 268.
יתגדל ויתקן השם מרבה.
Amen.
ימת יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחייך בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמך רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמי. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי לקודשה ברכו ואלה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן מימיו ויאמרו אמן. תתקבל צלותכון ובאותכון דכל ישראל קודם ובכון דבשמיה ואמרו אמן.
Amen.
שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Amen.
עושה שלום בברמה והוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו
Torah service begins with our bat mitzvah with Ilana, page 312. Ilana?
1 minute. Ein kamocha va'elohim Adonai ve'ein kema'asecha malhutecha v'kol olamim u'melshatecha bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imlok, Adonai usle'amo iten, Adonai yevarech et amo b'shalom. Aharachamim hefiv avirtzoncha Zion b'nei chomot Yerushalayim b'nei chomot Yerushalayim ki bechad levad batachnu melech elram v'nisa Adon olamim. I'm going to invite Shira to come to the bima or to the ark with us. We all rise as the ark is opened. Bottom of page 312 by Rubin Seller. Vayehi ben Soah ha'aron vayomer Moshe
Kuma Adonai le'achutzu oivecha ve'yanutzu mesanecha mipanecha ki mitzion tetzeh
Torah ki mitzion tetzeh Torah uvdevar Adonai
Yerushalayim
Baruch shenatan Torah Baruch shenatan Torah le'amo
Yisrael
Amen.
Page 316. Last 3 lines in the Hebrew. Ana emar tushmechan be'anarachet be'anarachet Elishme kadisha kadisha yakira Ana emar tushmechan Yehera avakodama Tetitach libi beoraita Vetashlim mishalim delibi Velibatech olamach Yisrael Vetavu chaim velishlam Amen.
Take the Torah from the Aron Kodesh as we're preparing for the public reading of the Torah this morning, and we'll find ourselves in the Siddur on page 320. 320.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shema.
Echad Eloheinu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadlul Adonai iti et romu Hashema yachdav.
Lecha Adonai hagedula
והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד כי הו בשמיים ובארץ כי הו בשמיים ובארץ לך אדוני הממלכה והמתנשא לכל ראש רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו כי קדוש הוא רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר מגלה כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו.
So we can all be seated. We're going to be turning now from our Siddur, our prayer book, to the Chumash, the larger text at your seat containing the 5 books of Moses. A couple of weeks ago we started reading the Torah once again with Bereshit, last week Noach, and now we're up to Lech Lecha, as God tells Abram and Sarai to go forward. And we'll find ourselves on page 69. So friends, this morning we're going to be doing a personality test. This morning you're going to have an opportunity to find out what you're really like and who you really are. Just in case you don't really know what you're really like and who you really are, this is your big moment. So you all know what a Rorschach test is? Yeah, you know? They show you an ink blob, and you kind of describe what it is, and they can tell you whether you're a psychopath or a sociopath or a mass murderer or a nice person, you know, based on what you say. Okay, so look with me. It just kind of hit me this past week that there's kind of like a personality test, not for Abraham. This is not a test for Abraham. He had enough tests, but we can use it as a personality test for ourselves. So look with me on page 69. And the Lord said to Abram, his name was originally Abram before he changes it to Abraham. God changes it. Go forth from your native land and from your father's house or your parents' house to the land that I will show you. Okay, here's the personality test. So God doesn't just say, Abram, go forth, I command you. God also tells Abram what's in it for him. So as we read through these various things that are in it for Abram, which one would you want most? Right? You can only have one of them. Which one would you want most? God says, I will make you a great nation. Is that what you would want? I will make your name great. Is that what you would want? And you shall be a blessing. Is that the one you would want? So you have a choice of three, right? I'll make you a great nation. You want to be a leader. Maybe you want to be a dictator. Maybe you want to be a king. Maybe you want to be a benign king or queen. Or you want to be the head of a democratic country. Should only be that our country remains a democratic country, but it is hanging by a thread in many, many ways. In many, many ways, we're going through a very difficult time, friends. Let's hope we make it. So, one is you can be the head of a great nation. Or, everyone will know your name. You'll be on the front of People magazine. Yeah, best you don't raise your hand right now. Because, some of them are not the greatest things to be, right? So, I'll make you a great nation. You want to be, ta-da! I will make you a great name. You be on the cover of not only People, but Us magazine, right? Everybody's going to know you, right? Like Madonna, they'll only need your first name. And then it says, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing, right? Okay, which one would you like to be? Don't say it out loud. Because just what's your personality? Which one would you like to be? Oh, if you say you want to be a blessing, it means like you want to be a blessing for others. You want to be there for others. You want to be able to give to others. It's kind of like a very empathic and philanthropic way. Philanthropic not only with money, but with yourself, with your deeds, with your behavior. Okay. So if you say, I will make of you a great nation, your personality is you are power hungry. How's that? If you say, I will make your name great, you're a narcissist. Do you know any narcissists? Huh? No, that's not nice. Is that your dad you're pointing to? No. Your dad can't possibly be a narcissist. Okay, we're going to wrap up in just a second. And then the last one is, and you shall be a blessing. If that's the one you chose, okay guys, enough. Enough. And if you chose, you shall be a blessing, then you know what? That's where we want to be. You know, the greatest thing in life to be, doesn't matter how much power you have, doesn't matter how many people know you or don't know you, it doesn't matter. But that you can be a blessing to others. Wow. You know, when people see you, they say, you know, that person, wow, that person's a blessing. You know, the person's a blessing. So it's like a personality test. Then verse 3 goes on, I will bless those who bless you, curse him that curses you, and all the families of the earth shall bless themselves by you. So the message is, of all the things we could be in life, there is nothing better to choose than we be a blessing to others. We're going to begin now the reading of the Torah on page 69. Let me just ask those who have aliyot to the Torah this morning going to ask you to come up onto the ramp and stop right over here so we can keep a social distance between the Torah reader and those having the aliyot. Mom and Dad, Shira and Ross, have the honor of the first aliyah. Grandmothers, Bubby and Grandma, are going to have the second aliyah. Grandma, no need to get up yet, just have a seat. And then first cousins, Kyle and Brett and Laura and Julia and Jessica, will share the third aliyah. Just for everyone coming up onto the bima, we need to have our heads covered, male or female. Okay, we begin. The first aliyah. No, okay. It's all yours.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Vayomer Adonai el Avraham, Lech Lecha, Me'artzecha u'mimalodotecha u'mibeit avicha el ha'aretz asher arecha. Ve'escha legoy gadol va'avarchecha, v'hagadla shemecha ve'yebracha. Va'avarcha mevarchecha umkalelcha ha'or v'nichrechu becha kol mishpachot ha'adama.
Oh, I'm sorry. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Stay right there.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Kulon Garbanu Mikol Ha'amin V'tein Lanu Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Vayelech Avram ka'asher diber elav Adonai vayelech ito Lot ve'Avram ben chamesh shanim v'shiv'im shana b'teito macharan. Vayikach Avram et Sarai ishto v'ed Lot ben achiv v'kol rechusham asher rachashu ve'et hanefesh asher asu b'charan ויצאו ללכת ארצה כנען, ויבואו ארצה כנען, ויעבור אברהם בארץ עד מקום שכם, עד אלון הורב והכנעני אז בארץ.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natana l'Torah emet pekei olam nata betokenu. Baruch atah Adonai notenu Torah. Amen.
Cousins, you know what? You're not quite ready? Oh, good, great. Thank you. We're going to be offering a prayer now for healing and well-being. You'll notice that I pause within the prayer, which is an opportunity for all those who offer a prayer today for healing and well-being to quietly to yourself and to God to mention the name of your loved one. And let me make mention that Cantor Paul is scheduled to come home this week, so we are hoping and praying for the best. Misheberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah U'yivarech v'yirapei et את כל החולים הקרובים לנו אנחנו מתפללים שהקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם להחלימם ולרפאותם וישלח להם במהרה רפואה שלמה מן השמיים רפואת הנפש רפואת הגוף לכל איבריהם וגידיהם בתוך שאר חולי ישראל Shabbat miliza okrefu krova lavo hashta ba'agala ubizman kariv v'nomar Amen.
Misheberach avotenu mekor habracha leilotenu may us astray, oh bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Gentlemen, can you get a talit before you come up, if you would? Fran, following this reading, if you'll come up and offer the Chatzi Kaddish.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Borach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amin, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Vayera Adonai el Avram, vayomer, lezaracha etein et haaretz hazot, vayiven sham mizbeach laAdonai, hanir'e elav, vayatek misham hahara, mikedem, לבית אל ויית אוהלו, בית אל מים והעי מקדם, ויבן שם מזבח לאדוני, ויקרא בשם אדוני, וישא אברהם הלוך ונסוע הנגבה.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Go back. Well done. Chasikadosh.
Yikada v'yikada shemei rabba, v'yamad yirach yirutei v'yam lech machutei, v'chayech anu yomecha, v'chayedecho ben Yisrael, v'agala u'izman kari v'meru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba Yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalam shemei dekudesha berechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shihirata tushbechata v'nechemata tamira me'alma b'meru.
Going to be continuing the reading of the Torah for the Maftir Aliyah, which we'll find on page 93. I want to show you this beautiful Torah cover that the family made in honor of our beautiful Bat Mitzvah. You can see on the bottom Ilana's Hebrew name, by which she's now going to be called. I hope you can all see it. It's so pretty. Yeah. So, can I invite first cousins up? Oh, no. Oh, we had the first cousins. We just had the first cousins. So, I want to call up three very special people in Ilana's life. And that is Aunt Abby, Aunt Nancy, and Aunt Randon. We're going to call Ilana to the Torah for her aliyah as a bat mitzvah.
That's right. Ilana Chana Bat Ranan Mordechai V'Simachuna Maftira Yitzki.
Okay, Ilana.
Okay.
lanu et Torato, Brochata Adonai, Notain HaTorah. Abraham ben Tishim Vatesha Shana, Behimalo, Besarlato, Veish Elbano, Ben Shalosh Esrei Shana, Behimalo, Et Besarlato, Ve'etzet Hayom Hazeh, Imalu Ve'abraham, Veish Elbano, Ve'chol Anshe, Ve'veto, Yelid Bait, Umina Kesef Ma'ed, Benahar, Imalu Yitam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam natan betochenu Baruch atah Adonai Notain HaTorah.
Amen. So I have a special honor of being with Ilana these last 10 months as her tutor and a friend who's taught me a lot of lessons, and I want to impart with her.
And by the way, thank you, Beulah, so much.
Yes, Beulah. Where is Beulah? Beulah has also been one of her tutors and been very wonderful during this process. So thank you. So I want to offer Ilana a special blessing that comes from this chapter, from this portion, from chapter 12, verse 1. Lech, that Ilana may go forth, that she may find her journey as a Jewish woman in this new world. And if you happen to know the song with me, by all means, feel free to Lech, to a land that I will show you. Lecha, to a place that I do not know. Lech, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing. Lech, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lech, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat chaim, lesimchat chaim, and you shall be a blessing. Lech ilach. Mazel tov, Ilana.
Thank you for that beautiful song, Catherine.
Oh, my pleasure.
Let's all rise. Annalise, just push the button.
Sot HaTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael ki Adonai biyad Moshe Ashlosha Ashlosha devarim Ashlosha devarim Ha'olam omer Ashlosha devarim Ashlosha devarim Ashlosha
Shlosha Devarim Ha'olam Ha'olam Amen.
So as we return the Torah to the Aron Kodesh, we find ourselves on page 332, a prayer for Madinati Israel, prayer for the state of Israel.
And if we can invite Uncle Danny to come to be our holder of the Torah.
332 for Madinati Israel. Adonai Eloheinu, Tzor Yisrael v'goalo, Barech et Madinati Israel v'hagein aleha. We ask your blessings, O God, for the state of Israel, for the land of Israel, and for the people of Israel. Bless those who defend the land and protect its people. May Israel be a beacon of hope for the oppressed, a source of inspiration to all who are free. Fulfill in our day the ancient promise, Tzion b'mishpat tipadeh, v'shaveha b'tzedakah. Zion shall be redeemed through justice, and its inhabitants through righteousness. Amen. 340.
Shem Adonai, ki niskav shemo levado.
Odo al eretz v'shamayim, vayaren keren le'amo, tehila lechol chasidam, livnei Yisrael am kerovo. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Ilana, we just want to tell you how proud we are of you, how you've made our life and our family complete, how you give us so much happiness, and we love you so much.
Amen. We're going to learn a new melody for Eitz Chaim He, once again from Ilana. Lana, over here, sweetie.
Eitz Chaim He lamakazim ba'v'tobecha me'ushar. Eitz Chaim He lamakazim ba'v'tobecha me'ushar. Shalom, 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 shalom. It's a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It's a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom.
Friends, we can all be seated. If we might turn together to page 763, and if you'll join with me responsibly, this reading on Torah from Rabbis Jack Reamer and Rabbi Harold Kushner, to live the words of Torah. Let us affirm our faith in Torah, our people's legacy of learning and faith.
There are no words more challenging than "you shall be holy," no command more basic than "you shall love."
There is no insight so fundamental as in the beginning, God, no word so life-enhancing as "you shall rest."
No cry is more compelling than "let my people go." No consolation more comforting than "I am with you in your distress."
There is no vision more hopeful than "they shall beat their swords into plowshares," and no summons more demanding than "justice, justice shall you pursue."
These words have outlived monuments and empires. We want them to live through us until the end of time.
We owe it to our ancestors to keep Torah alive. They struggled and suffered to preserve our way of life. They knew this to be their most precious gift to us.
We owe it to our children to keep Torah alive. For why should they be spiritual paupers when the riches of this heritage can be theirs?
We owe it to the world to keep Torah alive. This is a message which the world needs to hear.
We owe it to God to continue as a people, to share God's dream, to bear witness to God's sovereignty, and to live the words of Torah.
Great. Friends, I'm going to ask you to pay especially close and careful attention now as Ilana delivers her Devar Torah, her understanding of today's Torah portion.
In my parsha, God told Abraham to circumcise himself and all the men in his household. God said if Abraham did it, God would give him some land in Canaan, which is modern-day Israel, for him and his descendants. God kept the promise, and Abraham became the first Jew. God was nice to Abraham because he was nice, holy, and did whatever God told him to do. But God has two different identities, one that does good things and one that does bad things. Sometimes God breaks promises, like when he didn't let Moses go into Canaan. God is nice to some people if they do what God asks them to. God might get mad at some people and punish them by taking things away from them that are important. My Aunt Jackie was one of the nicest people I knew. She didn't deserve to get MS or to die young. Why was God nice to Abraham and not to her? Why didn't God reward this special person for being who she was? My mitzvah project was to raise money for research in progressive multiple sclerosis, which is what Aunt Jackie had. She went through tough times and tried lots of different medicines, but she died anyway. When she died, she couldn't walk and she could only use one hand. Thankfully, she could still talk, so I got to know her. She made me happy and I loved her. I'm still sad that she died. Sometimes I feel happy about God, and sometimes I am sad and angry at God. Abraham was like that too. He had to leave his home, which made him sad and scared. Right now, refugees from Afghanistan and other nations have to do the same thing. Abraham got a reward, but the refugees are sad and scared, and they may think that they're getting punished. Aunt Jackie probably felt more like the refugees. God took away her help, made her body not work, and she was sad and scared. Abraham understood why God was being nice to him. Aunt Jackie didn't understand why she thought she was being punished, and neither do I. That's the end of it.
Ilana, sweetie, thank you. Mr. Koch. So you know what? You can just have a seat right over there where you've been sitting. Ilana, I told the story last night. Of how loved you are here at Ohev Shalom. How much we all love you. And that when you walk in the doors of our synagogue, of your synagogue, Ilana, that you just know that you are surrounded by nothing but total love. Total love. It's got to feel pretty good to know that everybody loves you. You know what, Ilana? When I talked about the 3 personality types before, I think that everyone who knows you would say, oh, Ilana Goldstein, she is a blessing to everyone that's part of her life. You know what, Ilana? There's no question in my mind that your main characteristic is being a blessing. So, why do I say that? Because, Ilana, you are so kind, you are so loving, you're empathic. That's a big word. It means that when other people are feeling kind of down, you feel that with them, And not only do you feel it, but you want to do something. You want to do something to help them.
Yeah, Mrs. Maxwell told me that word.
Great. You got a good teacher. You got to thank her.
Thank you, Mrs. Maxwell, even though you're somewhere.
You know what? I learned something very interesting about you, Ilana, and I wish more people could be like this. We could use to learn from you, and the world could use to learn from you. First of all, it's two parts, Ilana. One part is that you love being Jewish, Okay, so that's something that we Jews can hopefully learn from you, and whatever our religion is, to have a love for your own religion. But how about other people? It doesn't matter to you, Ilana, what someone's religion is, someone else's religion is, what their race is, what their what country they come from. You love being Jewish. What? And gender doesn't matter. How am I doing? Good. I should have given this to you to correct before I went public with it today. Yeah. So you just see all people, not just. It's more than just. You see all people as equal, as the same. So if people that really love their religion and practice their religion could also respect and admire other people of different religions and different faiths.
I respect Palestinian people, even though Israel hates them.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's good. So you know what, Ilana?
Well, I respect people who are mean, like
Ilana, I used to be a solo act. Now I'm part of a duet. So, Ilana, you know what? In the olden days, I would stand right next to the bat mitzvah, the bar mitzvah. So we would read this together, but we're in the era of social distancing, right, sweetie? So I'm just going to read this over here. Certificate of bat mitzvah presented by Ohev Shalom to Ilana Goldstein, Ilana Yafa bat Ranan Mordechai V'Simachuna, who was duly inducted as a bat mitzvah the 10th day of Cheshvan, 5782, the 16th of October, 2021, Parashat Lech Lecha. Whenever somebody asks you, when did you become bat mitzvah, you're going to want to say it was Lech Lecha.
Of inappropriate circumcision.
May her portion be amongst those who live in labor in the Torah of our God. I didn't say it. Ilana, also we have this gift from you from the men's club and the sisterhood. Okay, we got to keep a distance. I'd love to be right next to you, but we're not allowed to. Okay, so I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll walk over here. But you got to stay right there, Ilana. This is the weirdest thing that's ever happened. Yeah, you are. I'm almost going to be out the door. You know what? I might go back to my study and just phone it in. So anyhow, Ilana, you get a JPS, the new JPS translation of the Torah. You get a Kiddush cup and Shabbat candles to light. There they are. And, boy, I would love to have this. I would love to have it and kind of be able to do it, because this is cool as could be. You have to thank Cantor Annalise for this. This is the Cantor Annalise's challah recipe. It's got the ingredients, the procedure, and...
Cantor, you give
But today, it's especially for you.
I thought there was going to be a Mr. Torah in there for me.
No, we don't care about gender. We have a Mrs. Torah in there for you. Okay, folks, the service is going to conclude in just a bit, but I invite you to all stay after the service when Ilana will be showing you her stand-up act right over here on the bima. Yeah. Yep. Mom and Dad, can you come, stay on the carpet, grandparents on the carpet, and Ilana, can you come over here on the other side, on the other side of the Torah table, and just stand back here and face the Aron Kodesh, okay? Guys, over here,
there.
over here. Let's recite Shehecheyanu, thanking God for this wonderful day.
Thank you, God.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. As we're about to invoke God's blessings on our bat mitzvah, we'll all rise.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Ilana, may the Lord bless you and guard you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha.
May the Lord make his countenance to shine upon you and to be gracious always unto you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God continue to watch over you, Ilana, that you grow in health and strength with a love for yourself, for your family, for your people Israel, for all peoples and all humanity. May God bless you always with a blessing of shalom, of peace. And we all say together,
Amen.
Amen.
Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov,
simen tov. Israel, Yehelanu, Kol Lecha Yisrael. Okay, we're going to conclude the service, or turn to the concluding part of the service. Ein Kelohenu. And we'll find ourselves on page 400.
Ein Kelohenu, ein Kadonenu, ein Kemalkeinu, ein Kemoshienu, mich Eloheinu, mich Adonenu, mich Kemalkeinu, mich Kemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Atahu Shehektiru, Avotenu, Lefanecha, Eketoret Hasamim.
Let's all rise, Aleinu 402.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינת עוזו בגובה מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמן מלכנו אפס זולתו כך כתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד
We can all be seated, and we'll conclude the Aleinu with Ilana, bottom of page 404.
ונאמר
והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד
ושמו
On this most special day in Ilana's life, we take this sacred moment to recall the lives and loving memories of those who were once part of Ilana's life and will always be part of Ilana's life, who have gone to their eternal home. We hold on to the memory of Ilana's grandpa, Elliot Goldman, Grandpa Hank Royf, and Babab Sylvia Zimmerman. And Aunt Jackie, yeah. And we call to mind at this time those whose yurtzites are observed today on the 10th day of Cheshvan. Alan Stengel, father of Michael Stengel, Richard Siegel, father of Gary Siegel, Sidney Hotlin, father of Enid Waldman, Betty Sutton, mother of Arlene Roman and Bertha Shandroff, grandmother of Lauren Siegel, Laurie Siegel, and those whose yurtzites were observed during the course of this past week: Arthur Bass, Claire Stiles, Connie Pitchon, Sarah Bloomberg, Sherwin Tucker, Saul Solomon, Miriam Cooper, Doris Surden, Solomon Strauss, Rocky Knock, Herbert Greenberg, Robert Feldman, Benjamin Kamenier, and Pauline Eston. We recall the loving memory since her recent passing of Ethel Shulman and Gussie Chudnoff, and those who have passed within the past year: Bennett Silver, Benjamin Hoffman, Lou Chaifetz, Harold Kurtz, David Aronson, Jeffrey Berlin, Mara Lipschitz, Mildred Klein, Hollis Cohen, Donald Golden, Michelle Fields, Joel David Kaplan, Sandy Goldstein, Charles Chuck Steinberg, Lily Zimmett, Robin Solis, Beryl Gottesman, Stephen Springer, Mordechai Glickman, Larry David Wiener, and Hannah Steinman. May each of their memories continue to be cherished for a loving blessing. If all those who are in the year of mourning or observing a yurtzeit now rise for the recitation of Kaddish Yatom, page 410. Yes, sweetie? Okay. Miriam Goldman, Aunt Miriam Goldman. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. V'olma divra chirotei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'cho Beit Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman karev imru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Leolam Ula'almei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitoleh v'yithalal Shmei Dekudsha B'rechu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'miran bi'olma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru Amen. You know, Ross and Shira, I mentioned last night that though you've been members of Ohev Shalom for just a few years, that you've really made your mark on the synagogue. And I mentioned last night, Shira, that you serve on the board of directors. You've been part of our shows. I mean, everybody, talk about knowing someone. But, Ross, when I got home, I said to myself, wait a second. Ross has made his impact on Ohev Shalom also. And that is that I understand, Ross, I mean, this is not part of my bailiwick within the synagogue, but I understand that when we need stuff with our HVAC, that we turn to Ross Incorporated over here. So, both of you, each in your own way, we're very grateful to have you as part of our synagogue family here at Ohev Shalom, and it's really a great joy, a tremendous joy to celebrate with you today. To grandparents, to Bubby, Lois, and to Pop-Up Gilbert, and to Grandma Marilyn, Mazel Tov to all of you, to aunts and uncles, cousins, family, friends, Mazal Tov, great to be here today. We're going to turn now to Adon Olam 412.
Adon Olam, Hashem Malach, B'taran Kol, Yetzir Nirva, Ding Dong Li'ei Nasa, L'chach Sokol, Azai Malach Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'yacharei Kiflot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nara Adon Olam, V'hu Haya, V'hu Hove, V'hu Yeh B'tifara Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Hashem Malach, B'terek Kol, Yetzir Niva, Ding Dong Li'ei Nasa, L'chach Sokol, Azai Malach Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'hu echad v'ein sheni, lehamshilo le'achbira Adon Olam, beli reishit, beli tachlit, v'lo ha'oz v'ha'misra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Hashem Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Niva, Ding Dong Li'ei Nasa, L'chach Sokol, Azai Malach Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'hu Eli, v'chai Goali, v'tzor chavli b'yatzara Adon Olam, v'hu Nisi, umanos li, menakosi v'yom ekra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Hashem Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nirva, Ding Dong Li'ei Nasa, L'chach Sokol, Azai Malach Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Beyado akid ruchi, beyat tishan beyakira Adon Olam, ve'im ruchi geviati, Adon Ali ve'loira Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Hashem Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Niva, Ding Dong Li'ei Nasa, L'chach Sokol, Azai Malach Shemo Nikra Adon Olam.
Let's all rise for Kiddush, beginning with Vishamru.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael.
Two things at once. You can't have them all together. One, take pictures.
V'shamru b'nei
B'nei
Yisrael
Yisrael et את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם.
ביני ובין בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
כי שיזמין עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ בשבת.
שמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת
וינפש.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagadol.
Amen. I am.
Finally, I can drink some more quality grape juice.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom u'mevorah. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom u'mevorah.
Shabbos, everyone. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
And now it's time for some comedy. Sorry, they wanted it.